What's up, guys? It's Reed back here. Just wanted to talk about a few things, maybe relating to the European internet questions that some people have asked me about. So some people have talked about, for example, what if you get hacked at the root domain level, right? What does that mean, though? Well, the root name servers, generally they are controlled by the United States, but I think that would be too obvious, right? The finger would be pointing straight at them. That's why in the case we talked about, the hacking case of the Russian chat server, it made the most sense for this to happen at the local kind of network level, right? But sure, we can't put it out of reach in that sense. I mean, also they just want to shut you down, and this does happen too. The reason I'll bring this up is a lot of people don't know that actually the main domains that people use, the .com, .net, and .org, are controlled by an American company called VeriSign, right? So we kind of have an idea where this is going, hopefully. There's a case, I think I read it years ago, from Wired magazine. If you look at it up here, you'll see that the people were shocked that it was taken because it was bought through a Canadian company. Of course, as we've talked about, the normal theme I talk about, that doesn't matter. That is an American controlled domain. So it really doesn't matter. And you can see over and over, everyone's complaining about ICE these days. I'm not getting into the domestic issues of the United States. Not that I'm saying I agree with it, but ICE has been seizing things like domains for a very long time. You can see a huge list of it. And so the reason I'm bringing that up as well is they seize a lot of .coms, of course. I don't really see, for example, ISIS seizing, say, a .hk domain, a Hong Kong domain. I don't see them seizing an Emirati domain, .ae, right? For example, some of the companies that I run, yeah, we have .hk, .ae. And part of that is strategic, right? I know they can't easily directly be seized without cause by the United States, right? No, this is the real threat to almost anyone, right? You upset them, you don't know what could happen. In fact, with the United States, all they have to do these days, if you recall back to maybe the WMDs and the War on Terror in the early 2000s, well, the code back then was terrorism, and the United States could do whatever they wanted to you, right? They could seize your assets, they could seize you, you might be in Guantanamo Bay. Maybe that's not everyone's issue, but we still are in the same zone here, right? And if you look back to what happened to Venezuela just recently, and all the threats against Colombia, even Canada, right? The code now is drugs, right? If they say drugs, they believe they can, well, not believe, maybe it's against international law, but they can and will, invade your country, bomb your country, take whatever they want from you. So of course, absolutely, it could be your domain name, right? So for that reason, sure, there's a few benefits, right? Some of the benefits of having, say, an HK domain, not saying you'll have to go buy an HK domain, but buy a domain it's protected well. And I think, again, Hong Kong is, right? Or maybe the Emirates, right? .ae. So you buy any of those domains, the added benefit is that the root name servers, yeah, we can't control those. Those are controlled by the independent entities, although mainly US controlled. Okay, but the level that, say, .com resolves at, well, that's controlled by VeriSign. That's a US company, right? Now, if you look at in Hong Kong or the Emirates, they are locally controlled organizations which are controlling that resolution of DNS. So what I'm getting at is, if you're worried about being poisoned at the state level, right? Well, you don't have to worry so much if you're not using a .com, .net, and .org, right? So you have to keep the beginning of your infrastructure extremely safe and secure, right? There's a whole package that you have to worry about. It's not just whether or not, you're hosting in a safe country. You want to host with a safe provider. You also want to make sure, of course, that your domain is secure, right? Depending on your application. But this is just really the very basic beginnings that we have to think about, guys. Well, anyway, that's it for me for now on at least this root domain issue here. Does your company have alternatives here? Do you have alternative domain names that are outside the domain of the United States, right? Other than .com, .net, or .org? Well, anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys next time.